What up, people? This is the Nature Girl 30 here, and this is my cool headband. But anyway, um, I was looking at the spoilers yesterday about SmackDown, and it kind of made me think about a character that I think that the WWE kind of cut out altogether. Now, back in the 80s, that was like the awesome time to be a wrestling fan. I mean, I was a wrestling fan since I was 6 years old, but around maybe the 90s on up to maybe the early 2000s, um, it was either you were either a face or you were either a heel. But then as the Attitude Era started going on and things were like a lot less, strict and creativity just ran wild. But there was a character that I loved so much that I think they should have kept, that should have held on to, especially if the situation fits it right, and that is the frustrated face. Now, there are two characters in general, two wrestlers in general that I'm referring to. One is Christian, and two is R-Truth. And Christian kind of had the perfect setup to be a frustrated face. I mean, for crying out loud, it was 17 years since he actually held the belt, period. And it was a perfect setup for him. It could have went two ways. One way is that either Del Rio took the belt, he was even more frustrated, and he kept trying to prove himself until he finally won. And, he was set up to be in a perfect situation to be a frustrated face. For example, Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was a frustrated face for the longest. He was the guy that followed the beat of his own drum. And he really wasn't either a face or a heel. He was kind of in between. That's pretty much what a frustrated face is. The only difference is that they don't lose touch with the fans. They never forget about the fans, never forget about people who supported them. They just continue to do what they got to do no matter how dirty they get. And Christian was in a perfect situation to be that way. But after seeing the spoilers for SmackDown, it seems like they're going to make him a heel altogether, and he even turned his back on the fans, which I really think that wasn't the way they should have went. I think he should have just stayed a frustrated face until he proved to Teddy Long that, like, hey, I can get the job done. And if you don't believe me, I can show you. And that's exactly what Jeff Hardy did with Vicky Guerrero when he was going to prove to her that he can get the job done. He practically beat up every single person out there until she got the point. And she did, and he ended up winning the WWE Championship at Armageddon. Christian was set up to do that, and I think that they kind of messed it up when they made him a total heel. He should have been a frustrated face. He should have resorted back to his dirty tactics, and he should have done anything that he could to get the belt. Remaining dirty is all right, but he shouldn't have completely cut the fans off. Now there's R-Truth. For anybody that saw my rant before, you know how I feel about R-Truth. I don't feel that he's a bad person or think that he's horrible or whatever. But the moment there's a lot more to him than being what he is now. It's just to the point where he's more of an angry black man than he is a heel. That's how I see it. Especially the fact that he came out in a Confederacy uniform. And I'm not going to diss on that because when you go back in history, there have been African Americans that did represent the Confederacy at one time, even though they were like, human shields. But just the fact that he just started saying little Jimmy and then he was wearing that Confederacy uniform just made it seem like, oh my gosh, it was slapping the face to every black person on the planet. That's how I see it. But anyhow, the point is that there could be a lot more done with R-Truth. Instead of him being a total heel, he should be a frustrated face. He made the mistake. The only difference is that Christian has something taken from him and he never had the opportunity. R-Truth had the opportunity, but he got overzealous, cocky, and blew it. He made the choice. He put his number one contendership up for grabs, and he gave it to John Morrison, which was really a dumb move, but it was a risk. And the same thing happened with Jeff Hardy. He took tons of risks, but never so much a reward. And John Morrison the same way, but I'm not getting into that. But R-Truth can be more of a frustrated face than he could be a heel, because a heel just making him look like an idiot. I think he should just be a frustrated face. He should prove himself further and further and go on and on and on to eventually get his title match. He shouldn't be making a fool of himself every night to prove a point. And also leads me to John Morrison. Now, John Morrison, yeah, he had the tag team belts. You know, he's had a few championships down the line. I think it was either ECW, WCW. No, I think it was ECW. He had the ECW title. And honestly, you know, a lot more can be done with him. He has a lot of talent in him, and I think that he was in the best position to be a frustrated face. And now he just keeps getting put on and off and on and off. And I'm hope that he'll be a frustrated face to prove his point and, you know, to be able to go up there without losing touch with the fans. Now, I know why everybody's saying that, you know, sometimes heels work. Sometimes heels have to get the job done. Yeah, you have a point. Because one of the best heels of all time, and in my opinion, there's only two wrestlers that have the best heels of all time. There are probably many others, but the ones that stick out in my mind is Randy Savage, the Macho Man Randy Savage, and Hulk Hogan, or Hollywood Hulk Hogan. They had the best heel turns, but the reason why the heel turns worked for them because it was something different for the character. They've already proved their point. I mean, Hulk Hogan pretty much proved his point early on that, you know, that he was best and everything, and he was always going to be the face, and that was getting a little boring. I bet he was bored. So that's why they chose to go in that direction for his character. Randy Savage went from being a heel to a face, but either or, his heel turn was awesome, but it worked for him. His face turn was awesome, but then it worked for him. He was the only one that was able to have a clean balance and make it seem believable, make it seem more realistic. Now it just seems like they are forcing all of these wrestlers to be either a heel or a face. You're either a heel, you're either a face. You can't be in between. It's like all the creativity is gone. But anyway, if you disagree with what I have to say, or if you think that it should go another way, or whatever your opinion is about the situation, please leave your comments below. If you like it, please hit like. I don't know, I may not do a SmackDown review since I've already saw the spoilers, and since everybody else read the spoilers, there's really no point of even talking about it. But that was just two things. I mean, that was just something that really bothered me, and I think that character is starting to go extinct, and I hope it doesn't. I hope that somehow the WWE will somehow bring some creativity back to it and actually start being original, because TNA is kicking their butts right now. But, you know, TNA is no better either, especially the fact that Karen Jarrett's still in the air. Well, hopefully she's still gone, and if she's still gone, I'm going to watch it tonight. But anyway, leave your comments below. Hit like if you like it. Thank you very much for hearing my rant, and I will see you later.